Hello everyone, welcome back to another game of Mechabellum. It's me here, Party Foot, loading into another replay. This time we're going to be Elite Specialist. I've picked this a couple times lately, so I hope you're not bored of it, but I do enjoy it. Our opponent goes for the sledges with a column of crawlers, which is an interesting choice. He's bunching all of his units up together quite tightly here. Us, meanwhile, going for a more standard approach with a pair of marksmen. Bit more of a defensive stance here, all the way back behind our tower. Trying to play a bit more of a ranged game. This is a very interesting deployment. I'm not very good at actually reacting to this by using missiles and things like that super actively. Sometimes we'll see. In the past, when I've seen opponents do a strategy like this, they've then potentially followed it up with a shield. Which I wasn't thinking at the time, of course. We do actually have a reasonable battle line going into this. Our sledges focused on their chaff, while our chaff absorbs shots from their main force, but just too many crawlers. They get onto the tower. Our marksman is ultra distracted. They do get cleared out, but not in time. We take down the tower, but also not in time. We do take a couple more of them with us, but our tower goes down, and that's really going to seal the deal, I think. This marksman is leveled. If he gets some time, he can deal with this. If he gets the debuff off. But two sabers, lock on, take him down. And the last of our gentlemen will just be filing in for the last rites. That is... I can't believe we've asked them to do this. But there we go. Round 2. Both of my opponent's sabers level. That's rude. Wraith on the board. You know what's quite good at clearing? Just like a solid column of crawlers. That was our opponent go for. Potentially imagining that we might grab this Wraith, he goes for a Farseer. Puts it right in the back. We put our Wraith right in the front because, you know, don't even think about the possibility of a Farseer. I'm just like, you know what? Who dares wins. We put this guy right in the front. Still a bit of space if we need to, you know, put some chaff, but yes. Our opponent actually doubles down on his little crawler column, and look at this clear. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. That's pretty good. So that's a good start. The Farseer does, as maybe he had hoped, lock on to our Wraith, but the damage has been done, I think. This significant portion of our army walking to the other side, getting the debuff while we still have tanks and marksmen. That should seal the deal for this round. Although, you know, never underestimate one of these Farseers. As I will come to respect over this game, they can do a little bit of damage. Oh, I felt so good about this though. Shield airdrop, nice option. Haste module is available. We go for the haste module. Are we going to put it on this Wraith? Seems like the target I would choose, and this is me playing the game. Even better. We use our Elite Specialist to get a leveled Wraith. Testing it out on the flank, maybe, with haste, right? You can take out this unit pretty quick. Charge in. Maybe that's going to be a good option. Nah. Let's try it over here, maybe? I have been watching players better than myself play Wraith. I chicken out of going on the flank and put it down in a more conventional spot where hopefully... I had imagined that he would open up this position a little bit, but we also didn't want to be too far away from the action, so I snuck it in a little closer. He's going to drop the shield down on top of these crawlers, but now with the doubled DPS of having, well, actually slightly tripled, I guess, considering this guy's level. The triple DPS of this Wraith, we are actually, well, to the crawler's detriment, they are quite quick and actually get outside the shield before it matters too much anyway. The first Wraith does go down to the Farseer, and another one was added, but our level 2 Farseer is a little bit more durable. Late crawlers coming in, facing overwhelming odds on this side. These guys have been taking a paycheck for not a lot of work at the moment. These two unleveled Farseers take down my leveled Wraith after taking down his buddy as well. The marksmen are going to try to take them down, and they do with the help of that tower. I was slightly worried there for a second. We take round number 3. Alright, round 4. Do we go for it? Round 4, advanced tactics. We both go for it. Absolutely. Wraith, pretty good with advanced increases to damage because of how their targeting is so generous and they have loads of splash. So if they can get a bit more damage, our opponent counters crawlers with crawlers and gets replicate, so he's going to have more crawlers coming out of that engagement. We add even more crawlers of our own. We've been leveling these marksmen in the back, trying to hope that if he does put down some sort of flying unit, we'll be ready. Also not too bad taking down these guys if the Wraiths are able to do their job and finish off all these crawlers. This column is a savage thing to do. More savage is the blender that they're getting put through, which is, it seems pretty unfair. This tank doing pretty well too, not leveling it yet. Opting to mostly get more chaff where possible. As we expect, the battle over this side goes pretty against us. More chaff in the middle seems a little bit isolated in the face of our units. With level Farseer immediately locking on and taking down our Wraiths though. That's definitely a bit of a bummer. Not before the Wraiths do a number on that crawler swarm though. So, you know, at least they're doing most of their job. Just enough chaff, maybe? But no. The Farseers one-shot the higher level marksmen, of course. So they live on slivers of HP. Alright, you know, it's not all over yet. Maybe they won't be able to take this down. We haven't leveled this down. It's gone. But there's such a low HP that the marksman is able to take it out. Farseer taking that guy down immediately, though. Quashing any hope of a comeback. Maybe if those chaff units had gotten in front, the marksman could have taken down these weakened units. And I say these weakened units. Farseer's still on full HP. Wasp offered, Mustang offered, double Tarantula even. Wasps are always a good choice. I feel like we were doing pretty well with these Wraiths, and I just felt like if we had a little bit of chaff in the air to absorb some shots, our opponent actually counters us pretty well. It seems to be reading our mind by going immediately for Mustang, although he does put the Mustang quite far back, so we do get a little bit of time with our Wasps before we say goodbye to them. Mustangs with range, that I might add. We go for another Wraith on the flank, and we level, we get range on the Wraiths too. So although this round, this replication might go quite well for him, then we're going to start getting pretty good value from this Wraith, immediately taking down those packs. They're not doing so well back there. This, you know, Wasps out in front as we had intended. We're getting onto this Farseer, that's good. Marksmen taking their time getting into the fight, but managing to take down some of those larger units too. No chaff to speak of. That's good. Wraith still alive. That Farseer just does so much damage. And then I was kind of like, yeah, we easily win. But, you know, depending on the tower timing, level 2 Mustangs with range can do a lot of damage. They can certainly clear our chaff, and, you know, against our individual marksmen, you know, level 1 Wraith isn't immune to that sort of thing. We get the debuff at the pretty bad time, and he immediately gets onto our marksman. The Wraith is off on a holiday. So one of the marksmen turned, a few of the tanks turned. Actually, was starting to worry that we would lose this round too. But we turn back, get the tower, and it's just a few crawlers who had a pretty devious plan, which they executed well, but it was too little too late. Okay, bit of back and forth. That's what we like. That's what we like. Our Wraiths are leveling. Super heavy armor. Yes. Everyone likes a bit of super heavy armor. In fact, our opponent does too. Don't think efficiency light manufacturing was that at round 6 is super good. Wraith is fully phased in now on this side. We go for armor. Yeah. Our opponent has Mustangs and he's going for more. He also has Farseer though. These Farseers are super scary. Armored ranged Wraith. It's a little bit confused, I will admit. Our opponent drops a shield on his front of his units. This Wraith looks like it's facing the kind of stuff it wants to be shooting at. The armor is faring pretty well here. And here. It's starting to get through. These Mustangs are level 3, so the armor is not super effective. And we get hit by a flank, it looks like. Tower going down. Debuff at the most brutal time. Our marksman in the back is able to get the chaff cleared from around him. Will he be able to take down this dreadful Farseer, who's been the bane of my existence? The answer is no. And the super heavy Wraith that we laid out on this side makes his slow way across the field. Victorious that he's taken the tower. Much too late for anyone's benefit. Get 1 or 2 more shots off, and I thought maybe we can get this. Of course, the range is awful. And this Farseer is actually surprisingly durable. 63,000 HP with that heavy armor. Our opponent immediately goes for the range increase. And we skip. Opting for the money to be able to afford 8-gun. I figured, you know, 8-gun is going to rip through this. It's going to rip through this. Will it beat the Farseer? He's gone for Electromag. So much value. I think this is what I underestimated severely in this game. I thought at this point I was feeling very confident. I was like, these 8-gun ranged armored Wraiths are going to do so much work. We even put one back here to deal with this flank. Look at how quickly we clear everything out. It's just pretty much immediately gone. We're clearing the chaff extremely efficiently. Look at that. So how could we lose from here, right? Like, we're just blowing everything up. So, like, literally all he has is a Farseer. I was feeling super confident. Wraith is clearing out in the back. Taking the tower. And I deserve to be confident. 8-gun Wraith is awesome. You can see that we are getting affected by that EMP, though. Excellent. Wow. At this point, it looks like we may have turned the tides. Offensive... Advanced offensive tactics by our opponent. A lot of buffs. He's investing in his future. I have not done as much in the same. This column is still getting pretty quickly destroyed. We've gone for the photon coating. Distracting crawlers on the side, trying to tie up this devilish Farseer in the back. Last round, they didn't do too badly. Our opponent is putting anti-air electroshock marksmen around the place, though. As a specific counter to the Wraith, 1 each, it looks like, on the flanking guys. I figured he might put some like chaff here, so I put down a missile to clear out this and maybe get in a bit quicker. I was hoping to be able to finish him. We've leveled this tower a couple times, but no attempt at a flank. Armored Wraith on this side. I was still pretty confident in this, to be honest. Look at this guy. Level 4 Wraith, 8-gun in range. Photon coating comes out. Wraith just slowly wandering in as the range gets taken away by the electromagnetic shot, which is very unfortunate for us, and it gets taken down. Yeah, it's really the combination of the Electromag removing the armor and then the Mustangs as well, I think really were what combined here. I remember at the time thinking, like, how is he beating me? He's got like 2 Farseer, 3 Mustang against like basically an infinite number of 8-gun Wraith. Well, it's only one more round. Lightning Storm, maybe? Why not? Laser Sights? Electromagnetic Impact for the opponent. We Lightning Storm what we perceive to be the big threat, this big ball of stuff. I guess in some sense these Mustangs have been doing pretty well for themselves. We sell out of the Wraith, realizing that that isn't working anymore. He does shock our 2 central Wraith. Double shield. Double level on these Mustangs. A shield in the back. He definitely wants to preserve his Mustangs. He's recognizing what his strong suit is here. I go for double fortress. And this is a game that actually probably inspired one of the other games that I played recently on the channel. I played this game first, but they might come out in a different order. We decided to go for tanky fortress and try to anchor this front line against these small, you know, shooting air units. Also, this Farseer was surprisingly tanky, so we needed a little bit more oomph to take it down. So, Fortress starting out shooting, which is always good, not making too much of a move. The Lightning Storm does make it through the shields, does take out quite a lot of Mustangs, not this pack. And will we be able to break through? Left side doing pretty badly. Missile getting great value. Luckily this tower is leveled. Oh, our fortresses are just struggling with the chaff. Nothing's there to clear it out. They're doing a great job. They slowly die to these Farseer. God, these just frustrating guys getting all that damage in. Alright, well, it's right on the line now. I still feel like these Wraith can win the game. I just have to figure out exactly what I want to do. I figure maybe if we clear the chaff real quick, get bodies in the way in front of this ground force that we've been building up. Our opponent goes for steel balls and puts them right in our face, hoping to get an early lock on these fortresses. We level the forts. And we get elite marksmen on the force. Level 3, both of them. So, absolutely no slouch of a unit. Our opponent goes for double mountain with efficient maintenance. He did loan for that. We buy another level 2 fortress with our elite spec. Replace the quite effective missile on this side. We've sold out entirely this position, so this whole force back here is just there doing nothing, right? I mean, I feel like all of this efficiency lost over here, surely we can win. See how it goes. Immediately opening up, the fortresses are. 8-gun Wraith coming in. We've got delayed Wraiths, level 3 coming in as well. Fortress making sure that we don't get crawlers coming in from any weird angles. They are taking down those forts though, on the flank, but there's primary fort doing an incredible amount of damage. Absolutely destroying these mountains. Fort is incredible against mountains, it would seem. Getting a bit of damage back. The EMP hits. And we start doing the slow walk forward. We do finally get in range. Too many Mustangs, though. Marksman plinking away at individual Mustangs. We lose the tower. Should be a short debuff, but it's just enough for our main guy to go down. And we lose the game. I remember after this game, I was looking at the battlefield, just going, like, how did that happen? And I was looking at my units going, like, 180k damage. You know, 270k damage, right? They did way better than these mountains that are way more expensive. Well, I guess these are leveled, so I did put a bit of money into them over time. 8-gun Wraith. All of them doing a reasonable job. I mean, admittedly, they were starting to get countered by all this anti-air marksman and electromag that he had. And I was looking, and I was thinking, these Farseer didn't even do that much damage in that last round. This one did. This one did. The Nemesis did. But, you know, everyone else didn't. Even the, you know, Mustangs, not outrageous numbers. How could we have lost? How could we have lost? But we did. A good game of Mechabellum. Fortress coming out this time in a much more successful fashion than the last time we saw a pair of fortresses. In this case, going for the efficient maintenance, even though not needing it, unlike the previous opponent who most certainly could have benefited from it. Anyway, thank you again for watching. If you have, this is Partyfoot signing out.